Welcome, listeners, to the Jungle Brothers podcast. This is episode 91. You're here with Tiora Ward. Hello. And me, Paul Fotofili. Joe Worthington is unfortunately not with us today.
Don't turn the podcast off just because you heard that. We're just as entertaining.
And Joe, he just had a baby child this week with his lovely partner, Mies, and they're in their baby bubble for the next few weeks. So it's the two of us here. Last week, you guys did a podcast. I wasn't there on domestic violence with Bridget.
It was a great podcast.
Yeah,
you got to listen to that one.
I need to take some time and listen to that one.
It really is. It's something that everyone needs to listen to, especially if here or anywhere in the world, really. But it sounds like a very morbid topic, and it is, and it was a tough topic to talk about. I could see that Joe was probably feeling the same, but I felt like quite drained at the end of it because it's a bit of it's an emotional topic, you know, and it's I don't know, man, it's a tough one. It's not a tough one. There's answers to it. Shit's not getting done, you know. You got to listen to it. But
okay, I will.
Well, I'm just going to dump this stat. 1 woman every 9 days dies in this country, in Australia, at the hands of a man that's close to them. Yeah? Every 9 days. You got to do the math on that. And you don't hear about it. You know? So we're spreading the fucking word.
Because already I've got questions going in my head right now.
Yeah.
To clarify that and, you know, geographically where the...
Well, it doesn't matter.
I won't go.
You know? Who cares where it is?
No, out of a matter of interest. Because there's probably hot spots and...
There's the hot spots are even sadder because the hottest spots are all Indigenous culture and that's the most saddest thing about it, you know?
Well, go back and listen to that podcast. Yeah. Today we're talking about New Year's resolutions, and well, T's got something to say about how he feels about New Year's resolutions, and we talk about maybe setting goals in the new year. I should say at the head of this though, a podcast is sponsored by our guy from Panavore Coffee Tree. We're not drinking coffee though because it's late in the afternoon, and that wouldn't be very good for my night's sleep tonight. So that is. Down there in Pagewood, go check him out. I did want to also say, while waiting for you to join the podcast, T, we got this Rodecaster podcast little setup here. It was provided from Rode. They're awesome. Recommend it for podcasters like ourselves. It just works really well. We got this thing where we can put sounds on this little press board here like this. I can T can say something and I can, sorry, dude. But we also have the opportunity to put some
cop that one a couple of times.
I got some intro music, and I was just here for 5 minutes, and I threw on 2 beats from our guy Daze, is a friend. He's a hip hop producer, Dazed, and he's allowed us to use a lot of his music on our advertising videos, our campaigns on YouTube, or the little ads on Facebook and whatnot. All right, what do you think of these two, T? Are you ready?
I am.
Bit of hip hop action here. Welcome to the Jungle Brothers podcast. Oh, what's going to happen? A bit of build up. Okay, drop that beat, homie. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk. Jump. We're going to talk about some shit, you know? Okay, here's the other one.
I like that one.
You like that one?
Yeah, it's good.
Might drop a few bars from the front of it, but here we go. Oh, hey, listeners. This is Jungle Brothers podcast. We're on the upbeat. Yeah, we got some energy coming to you. We're going to talk about some shit. That's right. Wave your hands from side to side. So that was beat number 1. Beat number 2. Yeah. Look, maybe we can get some feedback from some people. Beat 1, beat 2. Use those.
I reckon beat 1.
Beat 1 just ramps it in a little.
It's a bit more kind of X-Files-y to start.
Yeah. Conspiracy theory podcast. He's got dozens and dozens more that he's given us, but I just kind of scanned them and I found those 2 that I thought were more appropriate. But look, this is fun. We can decide on this later. So New Year's resolutions. T, you've got something
they're
to
fucking
say.
fallacy.
Oh, well, okay.
Fuck off.
Usually
Honestly.
we warm up a little bit.
What up? Fuck them. And I shouldn't be saying this because I own a gym and we make all of our income off 3 weeks of the year. when everyone
really
comes
true,
in with
but-
their New Year's resolution.
Yeah.
But in reality, most of them fail. So no, it's not the New Year's resolution. It's the problem. It's the approach to the New Year's resolution.
Well, you define what you mean by
There's traps,
New Year's
bro.
resolution.
There's traps, you know.
Yeah. When you say New Year's resolution, what are you talking about?
Well, I'm going to quit smoking. I'm not doing any drugs after this night and the last 5 coming up to New Year's. I'm not eating any shit. No more shit. I'm not going to go to Macca's. Alcohol. No more booze.
So I guess
I'm sleeping in.
I've heard them.
Get up early. I'm going to start exercise. What else is there? Quit smoking. That's a big one.
All of these things are good ideas. They're good ideas.
Stop
But
sleeping around on the missus.
I guess what you're saying is,
Stop gambling.
yeah. And all good things. You should all stop those things.
Yes.
But I guess you're talking about setting like huge goals or like grossly unmeasured without tact.
Yes.
And just driving a flag into the ground and saying that's it without kind of measuring it or thinking out how am I going to do this.
That's right. It's like a diet.
It's just making a statement without
Going on a diet,
for a
watermelon
process.
diet.
The what?
There's
The
no
watermelon.
difference, really, when you think about it. It's like, I'm going on a watermelon diet. You know the watermelon diet.
I don't.
It's just
But
diet where
I'm-
you eat fucking
Okay.
watermelon.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of thing. Like you're setting setting yourself up for failure because it's a lot of the times these goals don't have a strategy. They're big. Mm-hmm. Yep. They're huge changes to your life, and you're not necessarily always connected to the value behind them. You know?
Yes,
You're just
yep.
told that it's something that you shouldn't do.
Yep.
You know, and you need
Yeah.
to make a change.
Yeah, I'd say that they're without reflection and they're
And a lot of them are
without
unrealistic. You know,
planning.
I mean, when you look at the crux of these things, most of them are habitual, and habits take time, and they need to be approached in a certain manner, and that's small changes over long durations of time are the way you change habits. And if you do that, then that habit's going to go forever. But if you try to cold turkey it, and I mean cold turkey it as in I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week starting January 1st, then you're setting yourself up for a fall.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Or quitting smoking or quitting the beers or quitting gambling, that kind of stuff. The way you can make your New Year's resolution stick is firstly have a strategy. It's a good way. Yep. Measure it. Okay. Set the goal and break it down into smaller chunks. You know? So you don't need to quit the ciggies on January the 1st. If your intention is to stop smoking, then it's okay, well, let's do some research, you know. What tools do I have at my disposal that can help me stop smoking? The patches, counselor, whatever it is. And then regressing my cigarette intake over a longer period of time, spanning it out a little bit more, allowing the body to adapt, replacing that habit with something else. So you're not just left sitting in the dark. Looking for other ways to de-stress, or why is it that I value this habit of smoking, and how can I satisfy that value with something else? Yeah. Meditation, going for a swim. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
there's
with all
much
the
more foolproof ways of doing
yes.
things.
Yeah, sure.
Plus, the other failure with this is that if you do fuck up with your first New Year's resolution, guess when the next time is you're going to have a crack at.
Yeah, that's a good
You're
point.
going to wait a fucking year before you lose that 20 kilos or you stop smoking those ciggies, you know?
It's true.
You can't just leave these things to one day a year where your window's open for you to get incentivized to help yourself.
So it can work. I mean, what we're talking about
Yes,
is
there's a small percentage that works. Yes.
yeah. It comes down to goal setting and setting the right goals, and then having a strategy behind how you're going to execute them.
Yeah.
It is a great time of the year though to do it, given that this Earth has rotated around the sun, one whole rotation orbit, and it's just that calendar year, at least in the West, where there's a lot of changes and you've got work calendars that align with it and things come to a close and then there is a holiday period. It's a good refresher time. I know with the kind of schedule that we're on here, I feel that, and I do it around this time of the year. I don't make gross declarations that are, grossly unachievable probably in 12 months or whatever it is. I do take a measured approach towards it. For sure, but it is a good time of year.
Well, that you could say is not a resolution.
No, yeah,
that is reflection and then
setting.
intentions, like it's setting an intention or goal setting, and I think that's very different. And I think that's foolproof and can be used any time of year. But yes, it's a good time of year to do that because of the fact there's a break in there where you get a chance to breathe. But again, something you can use on a daily basis, weekly basis, or you can do it at any point in time. And I would highly advise anyone to be revisiting anything that they set goals wise or intentions wise on a regular or irregular basis, because that's how you measure these things. You know
what I thought was a good time to set goals is on the season change.
Season's good, yeah.
Season change is nice because there is a change in the galaxy, or at least in our solar system, or how we is just a mark in time, and you get a weather change.
Or when
it's not always
Saturn lined up with Mars the other
That's
night.
another time, and I'm getting into that stargazing this year.
I know,
and now I'm going to get all
it's worrying me.
astrological, baby. You're like, hey, what's that?
You'll be asking, oh no.
We're going like having a business meeting. Like, and should we invest in something? Like,
such a
hang on, what date is
trait.
it? Yes, that's exactly.
I hear that quite a lot, actually.
Yeah. This new business coach, when's his birthday? Like, I have people do that to me all the time. I'm probably going to go down there. Yeah, that's right.
It'll be on your membership sign up with what star sign are you?
Totally.
I think it's a good time to reflect and set intentions when you've got a little bit of a break. When you're going camping, or you've had a couple of weeks off, maybe it's your last week in Fiji or whatever, or last couple of days, and you've got a little bit of time to sit down and write some shit on paper. That could be any time. The problem with New Year's resolution is that you got a year's worth of fucking goals and shit that you want to back up on, and there's a chance you're going to bite off way more than you can chew. So you're going to be learning a new language, you're going to start a new degree, you could change your job, you're going to lose 10 kilos, you can stop drinking alcohol, and then you got all these balls juggling, and then what do? You drop them all, bro.
Drop them all.
Drop one,
and you're slightly hungover usually while you're trying to write these.
And
goals.
then you feel like shit for failing.
That's right. Yeah.
This is a problem.
Yeah, I was going to say, you said it's a good time to do when you have a little bit of a break. And I thought, conversely, if that's the right word, if you're at a point in your life where you need to make a change, but you don't have that break, then you got to make a little bit of a break, make a little time.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. Like, I'm not going to wait for the next holiday because I need to make this change now. You need to do something, I feel, because a part of it for me is reflection. You've got to ask yourself, what is it that's going wrong, or what is it that I want to improve, and how do I do that? And it's hard to do that when you're still snowed in by the things that are applying the pressure. Like you said, so if you don't have that window of opportunity coming up, you just got to kind of make it somehow, and that could just be, I'm going to break my regular routine of sleeping in on Sunday. Hell, I'm going to go for an early morning swim. Do a few laps in the ocean, have a breakfast without my phone all morning, get in the headspace, do it. So make some space if you can't wait for it.
Yes.
Because we need to evolve.
Yeah, that's right. The other place that we can sometimes go wrong is that we set the wrong we have the wrong intention behind our goals. Like you know, are we intent on losing that 20 kilos of body fat, or should we be confronting the fact that we're suffering from a little bit of anxiety? You know, or are we are the goals that I'm setting something that I truly do hold valuable to myself, or is it something that I just feel the people around me want me to be doing? You know, maybe it's that degree that my parents have been pushing me to do. Because look, in reality, if there's something that we hold of value, there's a fair chance we're already doing it. So if you hold your health at a level of value, if that's right up there at the top of your values list, you're already going to be training 5-6 days a week, potentially 2 hours a day. But if it's further down that ladder, then and it doesn't have a value connected to it, it's very difficult to say, okay, right now I'm going to start getting fit. I'm going to get strong because I know it's good for my health. There has to be some kind of value connected to that. And that takes time, and it has to be something that can be implemented on a smaller base. But now it's like, okay, all right, well, what's the goal here? Well, I want to be happy, you know, with the things that I do. I want to be enjoying my study or enjoying my training. So instead of saying, all right, well, I got to go to the gym and lose 20 kilos, like I want to find somewhere that does something that I could potentially feel passionate about, and I'm comfortable doing it. And that's the goal. And who gives a fuck about the weight? The weight will come off. It'll be a byproduct of you finding this space of like-minded people and a new passion that you got. It might be fucking windsurfing or something like that. I don't know. You know, could be anything. Curling is going to be better than failing to do
windsurfing.
Curling. You like curling?
Oh, curling. I prefer to curl than windsurf.
Yeah, windsurfing's a bit dated, isn't it?
It's dated. I saw someone
it's
out.
Kite surfing.
Yeah, kite surfing. Yeah,
it's jetpacking now. Jetpacking. But anyway, you know what I'm saying.
I do.
Like you got to find out what's gonna bring some joy to your life. You know, I think and what you truly value.
Yeah. So with the goal setting thing, and I have had people ask me about it, and you know, I've only been goal setting for four to 3 years or something like that. I'm still kind of refining my own personal process, and I want to ask you about a bit of your process. But I just wanted to say, like, you know, because what we're talking about here is there's goals, and you know, setting a goal is great, but then we're talking about some goals. There's better goals. Do you know what I mean? Or there's goals that would be better for you, or there's one goal that you could set that could actually take care of a couple of goals, because you need to put your goals in the right order. So I believe that for people to set goals, you've got to do some work before actually writing down what it is you want.
Yeah.
You know, and part of my process, and I'm actually going away this weekend to do mine. I usually have them done by now, and it's the first week of Jan. And I like doing it around now, but I'm going away this weekend. I've been busy lately. I'm going to do it this weekend, but part of it is like you said, is realigning myself with my values.
Yes.
And I feel like I usually say that to people. It's like, well, first of all, before you just start throwing out the goals, it's taking some reflective time on the last year is what I'll do. And usually I have had goals from that year. So it's kind of like, it's nice because I've got a bit of a checklist to reflect on the goals itself. And then the whole year is a total, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, well, let's realign with my values. What are they? Are they still good? And then it's like, okay, well, what's meaningful for me going forward type thing. I feel like you got to do that part before writing down the actual goals, you know, because then you're just going to get it wrong.
And also that firstly, it's going to, you'll probably get surprised a little bit because it's not necessarily going to coincide with your New Year's resolution. It might be something completely different. But a lot of times it's something that you already have an interest in, you're already doing, and now it's time to hone in on that. Spend a little bit more time doing that thing. Maybe it's spending more time with the family and the kids, you know. Maybe it's just working towards getting more junk out of the house, and lollies and fucking chocolates and shit, stuff like that. Or maybe it's just maybe it's finding a place that you're going to feel comfortable in to reach those goals. That like Jungle Brothers, Strength and Movement, 15 Underwood Avenue. It's a great place to lose some body fat.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm keen to do it this weekend.
And the other thing that works really well when you're setting intentions, and it's okay to set a big intention, but you got to break that down into smaller chunks, like a timeline. But once you've done that, you need to write down how that space makes you feel once you've accomplished it. Once you've learnt your new language, once you've lost your 20 kilos of fat, does it make you feel proud of yourself? Do you feel like you've accomplished something? Is it making you happy in that space? Are you feeling a sense of achievement? And these emotions that are connected to the value and the goal are what help drive you closer to it.
You're big on the emotional attachment.
Always.
I haven't done that.
We're emotionally driven animals, and I think if we detach from that, then we're not we can't switch them off. So all you're doing is ignoring them, and you're suppressing them, and then you get to the space that you think is going to make you happy, and you haven't actually put yourself there, and then all of a sudden you get there and you're like, I'm not fucking happy. I've just done 7 years of medical study, and now I'm a doctor, and I'm miserable.
Spewing.
When I should have been pole dancing, chasing a dream, chasing your passion.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you got to putting yourself in those spaces of the place that you're heading to, and first of all, we'll confirm whether it's somewhere you actually want to be, and second of all, it gives you this emotional attachment to that space, and you can tap into that on your journey, because there's going to be times where it's going to be tough to stick it out. So you're like, fuck, why am I doing this? And we've all done it. I've been in that place where you're like, why the fuck am I doing this? And then all of a sudden you have that destination to remind you why. It's the top of the mountain. It's what the mountaineers are thinking about, that feeling that they get when they hit the peak of that mountain. It's what athletes drive themselves off, thinking about standing on the podium, getting the gold medal put over their head, And we can all set that space for ourselves of that highest value, that accomplishment of reaching those particular goals, and that becomes, whether you get there or not, who gives a shit? It's about moving closer to that goal that's going to continue to evoke those feelings.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're actually enjoying the process, and you're like, because you're visiting that space, you're like, okay, it's going to get me to, for me, it's like getting my gym open up in Byron. I'm so excited about that.
Yes.
So I'm going to get really excited about talking to real estate agents and lawyers and solicitors and forking up shitloads of money to, bonds and shit like that. And that becomes exciting. You know what I mean? Whereas usually you look at stuff like that and they're fucking hurdles. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Or
yeah, it totally does. Totally does. Yeah, I'm going to add that to my process somehow.
Very easy.
Revisit mine.
Yeah.
So the actual, your process, or a process that we did a podcast on it basically last year.
Yeah, we talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, go back into, if you want like the full process. I think it had 6 steps to memory. And we had it, I think we made it into a blog too, but we definitely went through that whole process. You can listen to the whole thing on one of our podcasts. Maybe just go in the podcast and search goals or something of the such. And it's all there. That makes a lot of sense to me. I'm going to see how I can break it down and weave that into to my process.
You'll come up with it. And I think that if you have this system or process that you built yourself or got from someone else, it's always there for you to be able to utilize when the window opens. And you don't have to wait a whole nother year to have another shitty attempt at something that you failed at 5 years in a row. You know?
Resolutions.
The resolution.
So it needs a bit of tact.
Even the fucking name. Like, what does it mean? I'm resolving what? The problem. You're turning all of these things into a problem. You've already started off the wrong foot. Your focus is on this hurdle, you know, rather than, okay, what am I going to achieve from this? Why am I connected to the accomplishment, the outcome, the value of it, you know?
Have you failed?
Vision is much vision. That's what you want. Yes. You want a New Year's vision. You want a vision of something fantastic. You don't want to fucking resolve.
There's a nugget
for
you.
Resolve my tax bills and my fucking my parking bill from the. You know, I don't know, man. I just think it's.
Have you failed a few in the past?
I've never really said them.
Yeah.
No, I did when I was like 16, kind of thing. You know, New Year's resolution, and they always failed.
It's a bit of conversation. Always. It's a bit of conversation, really. Like, I don't know.
I've never you have that accountability, like usually when you're drunk.
Yes.
And you're like, you know, throwing them around and you're like, for sure this year I'm going to do this.
I believe that I lived my entire 20s without having any direction, pretty much. I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't. Like most people?
Yeah, like most people. Like in terms of like being, you know, aware that I could be quite active with my fucking direction. Like I just didn't have that person who has helped me along with that, who helped me see things that way.
Imagine if we had the tools then that we've got now. Yeah. I mean, there's no way I'd change a thing. I love where I'm at right now in life. It's amazing. But, you know, we're going to be able to give these tools to our kids, and, you know, people that listen to this podcast will be able to delve deeper into the subject as well. But I think it's just like so valuable.
Mate.
Because at the end of the day, these goals that you set, these resolutions or visions, whatever you want to call them, are there to put you in a place where you're happy. And this is the most important thing. And health comes with that. It's very rare that you've got, I mean, you have to be a special human to find happiness in poor health, and people do it. But I mean, if you've got a vision of happiness, good health comes with that, you know. Even people that find happiness with poor health, I guarantee you would be even happier.
Happier, exactly.
Good health, you know.
Yeah.
So, and that's what we do, you know. So
what we do here.
Yes. Yeah. So that there's these hurdles, or I should say, these pitfalls that can happen from New Year's resolution. What else we got? Where else can you go wrong setting a New Year's vision?
Look, I always think of because we're talking like goals. I mean, this is going beyond the vision, and so my process, you know, and I think you have I remember yours is like we start with a vision, and the vision I believe is more overarching. It's further in the future, you know, and let me go with it. But as I bring it closer to the day, and I'm talking like for me, I do the 10-year vision. What does it look like, etc. And then I bring it back to 5, then 1 year, and then 6 months type thing, and that helps me break it into chunks. But it starts to become less it becomes more grounded into actual action tasks that are measured. So at some point it goes from something that seems unattainable, a vision, it's something like if it was written on paper, it's something of an aspirational place that you're going to be. And it comes back down. The smaller it gets, it starts to become into something that's turns into an action list. That action list, I believe, and something that changed it for me was writing it down, and the way that I write it, the way that I've come to write it is very important in how it sets how I think about it, and 2, how I measure it. We had a short cutout of the recording. We're just jumping back in. T, you were just saying something about milestones.
Yeah, so milestones are also another really good way to measure.
That's what I was saying before we cut out. I was talking about just measuring right goals, which you can measure.
Yes. Yeah, setting a goal and milestones are a really good way to measure something that's potentially difficult to measure. and that's just setting these milestones. Like, okay, I've completed my set 3, and then the next milestone is completed set 4, and then I'm a PT. You know, also setting like, let's say I smoke some cigarettes. I'm a pack a day cigarette smoker. On New Year's, my resolution is to stop smoking ciggies when the clock hits 12. I'm never going to smoke another cigarette again ever my whole entire life until 2 weeks later when I'm strung out and I have another ciggy. So let's say we take a different approach, and we're going to set ourselves a vision. And I'm going to go, okay, well, my ultimate vision is that I'm going to not smoke another cigarette again in my life. I'm going to put myself in that place. Wow, my lungs are open. I can smell things. I can taste things. I feel fantastic. Physically, I'm feeling relieved that I'm going to be able to see my grandparents, see my grandkids one day grow up, because I'm not going to die of lung cancer. I'm proud of my accomplishment. I'm saving $50 a week or whatever it is, and then I reflect on last year, and I'm like, okay, these things made me feel like shit. It cost me this much money. All right, I've set some values there. I've got an emotional attachment to this goal. I've looked at why I don't want it in my life anymore, and now I'm going to strategize my approach to attaining that goal. So I'm going to give myself a bit of time. I'm going to set it for November that year, and it's hypothetical, could be whatever you want. And then I'm going to work my way back. So half of that time between Jan and November, I'm going to sit like April, I'm going to be doing 10 ciggies, and then by February or whatever, I'm going to be at 15 or whatever. And then you just kind of strategize between that. So it's okay, so I got to hit 15 cigarettes a day. I drop down from 20. I've got a month to do it. That might be equal out to, or 2 months to do it, or whatever it is. That might equal out to me dropping 1 cigarette every 2 weeks. You know what I mean? And okay, well, 1 cigarette every 2 weeks, man, I can do that. That means in 2 weeks' time, I'll be smoking 19 cigarettes. And then in 2 weeks' time after that, 18. And then before you know it, you might even think, oh, I'm going to drop 2 ciggies this week anyway, and you can accelerate the process. Or maybe you're strung out and you're like, okay, I need to push it a little further. I got to hang out on 10 for a couple more weeks, because this drop in my drug is starting to affect me physically, and I just want to hang out here because I want to make sure it works. You know?
Yeah, sure. Instead of rushing forward.
Yes. It's just like coming to the gym, and it's the same process. Like, you don't want to set 6-day-a-week goals and set these huge amounts of like fat loss that you have to lose. The first aim is just to get through the front door and get comfortable in the environment and build passion for something that you're going to be doing for the rest of your life. This is going to change your approach, because it's not like, fuck, okay, I'm going to join this F45 down the road, or this Fitness First, or even this Jungle Brothers, and I'm going to subject myself to 6 days a week of training just to lose these 20 kilos, and then fuck, that's it, I'm throwing in the towel.
Yeah.
Like, if that is the goal, the 20 kilos, or is the goal, okay, I need to find something I feel passionate about that's going to bring some joy into my physical development. And then now you're looking for something that suits you, maybe it's yoga, surfing.
Yeah, I'm always cautious about any fast changes for anything. Like whenever I hear anything to do with, a little fast change, or, for the better, or I know I'm a big believer in, the slower you change something, the more sustainable it is.
More permanent
it can be, because you give yourself time for all the other areas of your life to kind of adjust to that change.
Yeah. And I know this might be different depending on the approach, but most things that you move quicker in, you have to be proficient at. You know what I mean? Like, so you build the proficiency before you start moving fast, like driving a car. Like, I'm not just going to jump in a car, not know how to drive, and just put my foot on the accelerator. Like, I want to learn how to drive and get proficient at that. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to hit the racetrack now, and start slowly over time pushing this vehicle harder. And it's the same thing with exercise. Like the time to start ramping shit up is when you've been training for a while and you got your first fight. You know what I mean? The body can handle it now. You know, the discipline is there, the passion is there. These are the times, not necessarily coming off the bench, never trained before or haven't been training for 2 years. You know, this is dangerous territory.
Yeah, I can't really we mention it all the time. I can't say it enough. Like the consistency over time with anything, with the training, but even with the goals and trying to achieve them, trying to knock down a goal a little bit. And we're talking about first and foremost, a lot of it what we're talking about is cutting away bad habits, say. Like that's kind of the vehicle we've been using a lot here. I think if you knock that down slowly over time, it's a more sustainable way of, having it knocked down and never building back up again type thing. Yeah.
And there's pitfalls with that you got to try to override. One of them is environment, I mean, and this also comes, your environment is dictated a lot by the people you're around as well. So let's say you go on a New Year's resolution and it's like, right, not eating any shit and you're just going to cut shit out of your diet, but you're also taking your family with you. And the people around you haven't necessarily gone on the same resolution that you have, or maybe you've forced them into it. But this is also a tough scenario. Or maybe it's spending more time with the family, but you have to cut back time at work. Your overtime and whatnot. But fashioning your environment or changing your environment to suit your goals is very important. You have to be spending more time around people that emulate what it is that you want. So more non-smokers. Don't go hang out with your buddies that are chuffing away on the ciggies every day until you've got the willpower up to be around that.
We should change this podcast to how to kick the ciggies. How to quit the ciggies.
Is people don't smoke.
You get a bonus membership if you can guess how many times we say ciggies in this podcast.
There's going to be
everyone's vaping. That's it.
Vaping.
They're like, what's this guy talking about?
He's ancient.
What's a ciggy? Our international listeners are like, what's a
durry? Vapes. I'm vaping.
Vaping.
Yeah. So changing the environment, really easy way to fix to get you close to where you want to be. You want to get more academic, be around people that like to study. You want to get fitter and stronger, just hang around people that are fitter and stronger than you, and it just fucking happens. People that eat well, just hang out with them. Successful people, just hang out with them. That's all I've done my whole life. Just
latched
on people that can tag me along and drag me along with them.
It's true. I mean, they say
be a bad influence on all of them.
You want to sit down with people, listen to their conversations, ask them questions, see how they're living.
Yep. And if you see something that you like that emulates what your resolutions or your goals are setting, then just be around that. But also,
that's how your perspective changes.
Environment is very, very important when it comes to setting goals or setting your New Year's resolutions. Not all of them can be changed though. This is tough. I think the other place where people go wrong is that there's no one size fits all for every style of resolution. I mean, you can have this system that I use, and you've got
slightly different.
Yes, and you can apply it to anything. Is it going to work? Is it foolproof? No, it's not.
You're heading in the right direction though, because you're making intentional, a decision, to be bettering yourself. So you're just kind of edging your way over time, and you can set goals in the next year. It changes for you, or something clicks in that year, and then you're back again, setting them again, and you set them a little better or a little bit more aligned, or you've just defined that little thing and what it is more. You've come to understand what you want better that makes you happy, and it is something that you practice. It's not like you just learn it and that's it. You got to keep doing it.
You got to keep doing it. Make the habit. Expect a little bit of failure. There's going to be a time where you slip.
Yep.
You quit ciggies, and then a month later you're back with your mates and you've had another ciggy. Don't wait till the next fucking New Year's to quit them. do it the next day, get back on the horse, you know? Or maybe you tried the visualization, it didn't work. Well, do a little bit more digging and try a different approach, you know? There will be an approach out there, and every time you do it, your willpower gets a little bit stronger. Every time your focus is on that particular subject, things will start moving in the right direction. But it's like anything, you have to give it time and you have to give it attention, and with that, it'll give back to you, you know? But what you don't want to do is set that goal, give it your best shot, it fails, and then not look at it again till the next year.
Just settle in for the
Big
year.
mistake.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
Settle in
this
for the
is
year.
what happens, you know? And then you just spend the rest of the year feeling like shit, like you failed. You don't want that either, because that's all part of any journey, you know? There's going to be a bit of failure.
Have you set any new goals? Or like, you know, you don't have to answer any of it. Maybe you haven't yet. You're pretty busy with new bub and stuff. Have you set any new goals or done that? And on top of that, I want to ask, because I want to know, have you got any particular movement or training goals this year, baby? Answer me.
Yeah. All of my goals and my visions are running 24/7 always, and I revisit them when I've hit my milestones, or if the milestones have changed, and they're pretty set in concrete at the moment for my training and my business and my hobbies and that kind of stuff. Because all of them are in a place where I've got to hang out in between milestones for a while, like just building another gym. My training goals are I want to get the meat hook to flag on the straps, and it's going to take a while for me to get that.
Yeah, that's okay. I see you guys working on that now.
Yeah,
you seem to be doing it, but with a support hand.
Yeah.
But that looks like
eventually
you're like so close.
There will be no support.
So getting that hand off that ring is quite a big leap.
It's a big jump.
I'll have to try it and feel it.
Yeah, but that, and again, that's all joy driven. I just really love playing with that particular apparatus. So much fun. And the people that like to do it with me, I look forward to being around them as much as I do doing the practice.
Totally.
So all these elements that are incentivizing me to get stronger and fitter. And there's a little bit of element of competition where there's, other boys that are doing the same thing with me, and girls, I should say. So all of that is like, it drives me,
Totally.
And again, I'm always kind of thinking about, okay, what's the outcome of this? Why am I doing it? Because it's a sick move and it's going to look great.
Good. Sorry, I know you got part of your vision, your physicality. It's what is it? It's acrobat, warrior acrobat.
Well, my ultimate vision is the warrior acrobat.
Warrior acrobat.
Yeah.
So have you got any warrior goals this year?
Yeah, I want to get my blue belt. I know I said that last year, but the mistake I've made, I made it a New Year's resolution. That's where I fucked up. Yeah. First one I've ever, well, no, I'm just kidding. It's been every year I've said I want to get my blue belt.
Yeah.
But this year I have reviewed why I don't have one. And my values for jiu-jitsu are not the same as they are for my other areas of training, even though I like it. And I think what I'm lacking in it is a goal. And the belt's not enough. It doesn't mean enough. The value of a blue belt, even though the goal is good, but the value, I don't value the belt.
Probably if you lined up a super match between you and someone even.
Well, that's what I need. I said that to JT today. I said I need to comp. Like if I have got a comp, then I'll train up for the comp.
Hell yeah.
And then that'll get the blue belt will be byproduct of the goal, and then nothing incentivizes you more than getting beat up and bashed in front of people.
Take your family too. In that vision, your family's watching.
My kid's watching me.
Yeah.
Choked. Someone's sitting on my face and squashing it in the mat.
Daddy, you tapped. I don't have to listen to you. Quitter.
Yeah, no. So that's exactly right. So I think if I can do that, get myself in a comp this year, and then train up for that comp, it should be enough to potentially get me over the line. And then, just get a bit more of a value behind it.
Yeah.
Because I do enjoy it. I know any time I hit the mats, I have such a good time.
Well, this year's the one. The JITS program here is, I believe, just on the brink of blowing up in 2021 with the intake of James Tomlinson, JT, Tenacity. And with the combination of that and Paul being here and Nate, I think they're a really great trio. All the kids right now, the white belts came from here. They're coming up looking at blues this year. And I think there's going to be some colour belts coming over. It's going to be fun up there. There's some good energy. I'm excited. I'll be on the mats this year. I think for us, I'd say you're similar. It's a lot of it's schedule and time and trying to make room for it.
Yeah.
With family and
all the other fun stuff you can do
stuff.
In here.
Yeah.
You know?
So, I'm going to do that, and I'll probably end up. Last year, my goal was to do 2 JITS comps. And then COVID came along and killed that, and it didn't get off the ground. This year will probably be similar though. I would like to get some if it came to the belt, I'd like to get some stripes on my blue belt and just do the comp really, do a couple of comps and get more proficient for sure. Oh, that's going to be fun this year.
Yeah, and I think a lot of goal setting revolves around behavioural patterns, So recognising these behavioural patterns, the ones that might be quite negative in your life, is a really good thing to do as well, and why, and then how you can step away from those behaviours and change them and replace them with something that's positive,
Yeah, totally.
And we've got a few people come through the gym this year. Most of the people that come to the gym that have New Year's resolutions are ones that come in and say, look, I got some bad habits and I need to make some changes to those habits. And the ones that have already implemented those changes before the new year, going to AA or quit doing a certain thing or whatever it is, and the gym has just been a part of that process, are usually the ones that stick it out. The ones that have just come in off back of a New Year's resolution generally don't last. And I know this is a bit of a brash comment, and I'm not trying to put anyone off who didn't have something in place before the new year. They proved me wrong. But it just seems to be the case here in this gym. I don't know the statistics behind it, but I'm sure if you look them up, I could bet my life on it that the majority of New Year's resolutions generally fail within the first 1 to 2 months.
We don't have that many leads coming in off the back of that, though. I think
no, we're not that kind of gym.
It's long game style training here, I'd say.
Most of the people that come to the gym know that because our marketing reflects it. But yeah, there's no easy answer.
We never do challenges.
No.
Straight up.
No.
We don't do as in
do some in-house ones.
Yeah, but no 6 week get in here.
No marketing
we need
challenges.
New gym members. Yeah.
Yeah.
It never worked for us in the past. Not for long-term members who
you get people that want to train for 8 weeks and they've got an an expiry date on their exercise, and that's not good for anyone, especially the people that are doing it, but even more so, it's worse on the coaches. You're forcing someone who doesn't practice that approach to exercise to promote it and teach it. But that's going off track. So I would say if you're setting New Year's resolution, if you've done it this year, change the name, Don't call it a resolution. Call it your goal setting, or call it your vision. String it out a little bit. Don't try and cold turkey that sucker. Set an intention with it. Review why. Find out your reasons why, and then attach it to how it's going to make you feel once you've attained that goal, and then break it down into milestones, and those milestones into small, achievable weekly tasks that are easy to tick off and win, real simple wins, and slowly increase the intensity or the volume or whatever it is over time. Is there anything you would add to that?
I'm going to start smoking ciggies so I can quit them. This podcast has inspired me to quit ciggies, but I don't smoke.
Buy a vape.
Vape, yeah, that's right.
With
do they even sell ciggies?
Little LED light in it that glows as you suck on it.
It changes colour. It's stylish, like.
And then you got to blow out some kind of almond smelling stuff.
Yeah, you just stand underneath a street light, so it's like a plume of smoke coming off you, and you're like, yeah, I'm cool.
It's like a ninja.
Yeah. I've had flavoured vape before. It's fun. It's like comes out of your mouth. It's fun to blow it around a little bit. I wouldn't stick to it.
There's got to be some kind of health implications.
For sure. Like it doesn't.
You just don't know. What the long-term effects are.
Absolutely.
Stage. I mean, anything that's not oxygen, it's not going to be good for your lungs. Even oxygen. I mean, that's why we age, isn't it? Our bodies just oxidize. It's like the most corrosive gas in the universe, supposedly, or one of them.
Look it up.
It's true. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to get into my astrology this year. Yeah. And also my geology off the back of that sky gazing.
You're going to get yourself a telescope, yeah?
Correct.
I'm excited about that.
Mate.
My kids are going to love that.
Got the book, got the calendar, got a few apps, and I'm just, it's something that I know nothing about, except for what I hear and see, just along the way. I've never made an effort or had a friend who did. I never made an effort to to learn about it. So I'm just kind of surrounding myself with bits and pieces. And it's funny how once you're open to that, you see bits and pieces of it all the time. And you think about the weather, and now I'm thinking about the year and the orbit and the motherfucking moon. And I'm going to have a good year with it.
And the universe.
And the universe, man.
And how meaningless our little planet is compared to the big picture.
Oh my God.
And why we got to protect it and look after it, because no one else gives a fuck, bro.
Oh, no one.
No one. Just a little dust mite floating around.
Dude, this is supposed to be like a positive podcast.
I know.
Set a goal. Whether you achieve it or not, this rock's going to orbit the sun again again.
It's going to be like a fucking flash of light. Flash of light on a flash of light in a universe of meaninglessness.
A speck and a speck and a speck.
Don't even bother. Don't bother setting a goal. Smoke some bombs.
Don't you dare.
But yes, and that would be the other thing I'd add is you don't have to wait until the new year to set yourself a vision or a goal.
You haven't missed the boat on anything
and
here.
If you fuck up, you're human. Don't beat yourself up. Just get back on the horse. Don't go and don't be wallowing. Just get back on the horse. Give it another crack. Try a different approach, or try the same approach. If it doesn't work 2 or 3 times, change your strategy. But keep moving forward. Don't quit on it. Don't quit on yourself. Just keep going.
Don't do it alone either.
Yes.
Come and see us.
The big one.
We'd be happy to help. We've got a few resources here ourselves. Call us up. Look us up on the website. We've got a lot of coaches here who would like to help you. A lot or a little. It's up to you. Just give us a buzz. Send us an email.
Lots of different goals.
Let's have a chat.
And write some stuff down.
Yep. I'm about to do that this weekend.
Awesome.
Anything else you want to add, brother?
No, that's it.
Cool. So Joey's away for a couple of weeks. So happy for him.
Yeah.
Had his little baby.
We got a guest on next week.
Who we got there?
Firas.
Oh, Firas Dirani. Is that his last name?
It is, yeah.
The Firas.
Yes. He's an entertainer.
Wow. He's an entertainer, an actual entertainer.
Well, he is, isn't he?
Yeah. He is. He's an actor, but he can do it all. That's one guy that he's like a
he's
Jamie
the kind
Foxx
of guy
of this motherfucker.
that everyone wants in the room with you.
Yeah.
at a party.
I love that, man.
You know, training in your class.
Yes.
Sitting doing like a road trip. Like he's the guy that everyone wants there to be part of all of that. Very entertaining, man.
I can't wait to chat
And
to him.
he's a deep thinker too. He's
Huge, intelligent,
Yep.
specimen,
Good looking.
talented, like
What a
raw
catch.
talent,
What a catch.
and all of that. All right, well, yeah, tune into the next podcast. Share this podcast with your friends, or throw us an email, tell us what you think about it. It all helps us make it better for you. Maybe you cast a vote on the soundbite one or two.
No one's going to cast vote on
No.
sound.
Well, look,
Right.
at least gym members will come up. They'll probably be ripping on
Someone
one
will
or
tell
two.
you. One member will come up and tell you which one they like.
Okay. Well, I'll take us out with it. Thanks for listening, folks.
Thank you. That's my favorite.
You were listening to the Jungle Brothers podcast. That's everything. Thanks, listeners. Good night. Oh, just let it play a little bit. All right, for real. See ya.